So the last section for this first chapter, or first section in this chapter, talks about how you can take application problems and solve them. And the first problem I want to talk about is 64. And it says two investments earn an annual income of $575. So we have two investments. And their annual income is $575. It says one investment earns an annual simple interest rate of 8.5%. And the second one earns an interest rate of 6.4%. The total amount invested is $8,000. How much is invested in each account? So we need to have a variable to represent each one of these. So I'm going to let X be the amount in the first account. And I'm going to let Y be the exact same thing except the second account. So we have two different things we need to do. We need to create two equations. Well, if it says we invest a total of $8,000, I know that if I take the amount that I invest in the first one and the second one, they have to add up to equal 8,000. So here's my first equation right here. My second equation has to be a result of the income that they earn. And they earn an income of $575. So how do I write that? Well, the amount they earn is a product of their interest. So if I take 8.5%, which is 0.085, times how much I invest in that, I'll get the interest from that. And if I do the exact same thing with the second one and add the two interests together, I'll get how much interest they make together. Now from here, this might be hard to decide if you want to solve, if we can even solve this by graphing, which you could, but I'm going to solve this by substitution. So I'm going to solve by substitution, and I'm going to solve for that x right there. So if I solve for that, I'm going to subtract y to the other side. So I actually get x equals 8,000 minus y. From here, I'm going to take this expression and plug it in for x here. So I get 0.085 times 8,000 minus y plus 0.064y equals 575. So now I have to distribute 0.085 times 8,000. Well, let's see what it is. Well, 5 times 8,000 is 40,000. 80 times 40 or 8,000 is 640,000. So the total is 680,000. Move the decimal over 3 spots. So I get 680 minus 0.085y plus 0.064y equals 0.575, or not 0.75, just 575. So from here, we have an equation. We can continue to solve this. I'm going to combine these two things to get negative 0.021y. And this is still 680. I'm going to subtract the 680 to the other side. So I get negative 0.2021y equals negative 105. So I'm going to take this and divide it by a negative 0.021. So I'm dividing by a negative 0.21. If I move the decimal over 3 spots, I'm actually taking and dividing by 21. So I'm taking 105,000 and dividing by 21. This goes in 5 times. I'm left with 105. So I actually have 5,000. Now my answer is not complete because this described how much was in the second account. If I invested a total of 8,000, the amount in the first one is 3,000. So for number 68, I'm going to talk about how you set it up, and then I'm going to give you what the answers are for them. It says in 68, an investment club placed $33,000 into 2 interest accounts. So we know that the total that you invest is 33,000. So right there, that should give us a hint that if we're investing 2 accounts, that one of my equations should be this. The second part of the problem, it says, on the tax-free account, the annual interest rate is 3.5%. So the tax-free we have an interest rate of 3.5%. And on the money market fund, the interest for that is 4.5%. So now I just have these two things that gain interest. So 0.035x plus 0.045y. So I've made a decision that this is going to be my tax-free, this is going to be my money market fund. And it says in the problem, so that the accounts earn the same interest. Well, now I added them together, but we have a problem. They want them to be the same interest. So here's my interest for the first one, here's my interest for the second one. They have to be the same. So we need to do something a little bit different. I want these two things to be exactly the same. So what you need to do, I'm going to solve this one for y by subtracting x. So I get y is equal to 33,000 minus x. And you're going to take that and plug that in for y here. So I have 0.035 x equals 0.045 times 33,000 minus x. And it's just a simple equation with one variable that lets you find x. Then from there you have to use the fact that you invested a total of 33,000 to find y. But the answer you should get is that x is equal to 13,500.